5:45, and I hereby call this meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission to order Tuesday, May 26th, here at the City Council Chambers at City Hall. If you would, please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Item D on our agenda is public input. Planning and Zoning Commission invites citizens to address the commissioners on any topic not already scheduled for public hearing in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Planning and Zoning Commission cannot take action on items not listed on the agenda. However, your concerns may be addressed by city staff, placed on a future agenda, or responded to by some other courts. Anyone desiring to speak on an item scheduled for a public hearing is requested to hold their comments until the public hearing on that item. And is there any public input that is not already listed on our agenda for this evening?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Recognize a good councilman.
Okay. Hey, well, and that's why I'm here in my position as mayor. I just wanted this body to know that the city council is fully aware of all the efforts and the time that y'all put into the recent work on the planning and zoning, on the not the comprehensive plan. We'll get to that. But on the planning, on the changes that we made to the zoning within the city, y'all showed quite a bit of diligence and went way above and beyond. The council recognizes that, and I just wanted to come and just personally thank you. Unfortunately, y'all wouldn't be able to eat enough pizza to fully compensate yourself for the efforts, but just know that your diligence and your work was appreciated by the city council. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Doc. Any other public input? All right, we'll move to item E, approval of minutes. Number 1, consider approval of minutes from the Planning and Zoning Commission regular meeting held January 27th, 2026. The minutes should be in the back of your packet.
That looks as I remember it. But that's also back in January.
Yeah, but that's, Is there any motion that the commission wishes to take?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
There's a motion by Richard Ferguson to approve the minutes for January 27th. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Scott Morgan. Okay. If so, any discussion on the item? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And we've got the minutes approved. Item F, public hearing, consider and take possible action on an amendment to Chapter 30, zoning land use ordinance to require manufactured homes to face the assigned 911 address in TN, NM, and ag zoning districts conditional use. And is there anyone from staff that wishes to address us concerning this?
Thank you all. The issue on this one is we've had a lot of influx of the homesteaders coming in and doing the manufactured homes. And we find that there's a lot of lots out there that are for sale in the city that may or may not accommodate a manufactured home if the front door is required to face the 911 address, the legal address, because of the width of it. So we find a lot of people are trying to put them in long ways, and that would be against what we've been told on the 911 addressing. We've been making people do that and going that way. We just didn't have anything to stand on that, so we need something in the ordinance if we're going to go that direction. But that leads to the fact that kind of does limit some of these lots that are for sale in the city. Would make them hard to purchase. Or if we went the other way, it would make them more attractive, and we could make more homesteads for these individuals that are coming in. So,
Is there anything in the ordinance that requires regular homes to face a 911 address? Or
yeah, yeah. I mean,
is it just silent on the issue?
I mean, pretty much when you're building a home, yeah, the front door has to face the 911 address. So when these modular homes come in,
Would you not make the address to match the front door of the home?
you could, but when you so if I've got a lot here and it's this big, so the modular home has the doors on the long ways, so your front door and your back door. So it's going to have to come in here and fit this way in a lot that runs deeper than it does wide, and it won't fit. So a lot of guys are trying to slide them in long ways, but then the front door and the back door are not facing the legal address. Does that make sense? And then sometimes we have corner lots that we can change the legal address to the other street, but then we don't want to get in the habit of doing that if we're trying to stay away from that. So we just need a ruling on which way we're going to lean. And
Okay, you're saying on the corner, I mean, technically you could change the address, but in the middle of a block,
right,
there's
You
no
can't.
there's
where
no
else to
wiggle.
change it.
There's no wiggle room. Yeah.
Right, right,
And so again, it's limiting a lot of people.
right.
It's limiting a lot of these lots to be sold, and if it can't be sold for a homestead,
Right.
you know what?
And it's just gonna sit there.
So
What's
again,
what's the typical length of a manufactured home?
60 feet probably,
What's
and these
the
are 50,
typical width of
50,
a
50
so you
feet,
got 5 feet.
and you've got to stay 5 feet off of each side, so it won't fit. So what are you going to do with that lot? You know.
Well,
And
the
so,
other thing
and then
too-
so again, the other part of that is a homesteader comes in and they're going to do this. So we tell them all this stuff and we make them adhere to it. And so they have to go out and find a chunk of land that has at least 2, maybe 3 lots. So they're out the added expense of buying the more lots,
It's a lot of hoops.
you know, and hoping you find some that are connected. And then you have to replat it and resurvey it. So that's extra time, extra money to make it all, make the square peg fit in the square hole. You know what I mean?
Could a lot of this be solved by having the address visible on the end of the home?
But it states the front door.
Face the address.
Sorry.
And that's what we're looking to change. Sure, you're looking Possibly. You're looking to codify that.
Even though we
Right.
Or to change it, or just guidance.
Yeah. So these things keep coming up, and we've gone to our directors in the past, and you know, bring this to their attention to make sure we're on the right path that we need to be, and that's the road that we've been on. But again,
What's the emergency response people's viewpoint
Yeah.
on this?
Yeah, that's what I was.
It's an excellent question. I'm glad you asked. So our general goal in emergency and first response is to always have something standardized. So in this particular case, we'd be looking at an amendment to the ordinance that would actually just confirm the standardization of the placement. I would point to subsection C, which does allow a little bit of wiggle room on the proposed amendment, which would allow alternative orientation for irregular lots or unique site conditions. And so that exemption clause in there would allow staff a little bit of autonomy to make some of those exceptions if there is just one of those extremely abnormal lots where it's very difficult to get use out of it otherwise. So in general, in first responder application, we're always looking for everything to be uniform, for everything to be marked so that it doesn't delay our response. I believe with that subsection on exceptions, we could always speak with the homeowner and ask that they do clearly mark where the address is. And so if they are going to have that alternative placement, then we could always ask for extremely clearly visible marking so that we don't prolong police, fire, EMS response on any of those locations. Something. Ideally, we would have something that has at least 2-inch lettering, so it's extremely visible at night. But yes, something that's going to mark it clearly. So, in all, basically, the ordinance amendment creates a standardized response, but it does allow a little bit of wiggle room for those one-off situations where, ideally, we do want to see those lots occupied, and that gives us that ability to occupy it without saying, well, the rules say you have to turn it like a shotgun. So, that's kind of our general stance on it.
And right now, if you've got the narrow lots, your only real choice is to buy 2 lots, you're gonna replat it into one.
Now, this would allow the zoning administrator then to allow that to change to where a mobile home could go onto a long lawn.
Right, with that exception clause, it would then put a little bit of autonomy for the staff to make a determination that, basically in government, what makes sense isn't always what we do, but that gives us the ability to make sense and say, well, that lot is so irregular, there's only one way that house would fit there, so let's make it work. So that does provide a little bit of leeway for staff to make that determination.
I guess one thing I think I'm aware of, maybe that the rest of the council is not of, planning and zoning is under a new umbrella. Is that
So
correct?
we're still figuring out all of those details, but yes, I was going to speak to that. Just didn't know the best place to fit it in, but we've done some internal movements here at the city to place planning, zoning, and code enforcement under the umbrella of the police department. Planning and zoning is one of those that we're still kind of fumbling through because enforcement is something that we have a pretty good picture of. Planning and zoning, we're learning as we go. But yes, the code staff has come in under the police department. We've already seen really good advantages from that switch as far as field support. They actually had a code violation the other day that led to a felony arrest, and that's because we're actually finally able to work under the same roof now. So in that, we're still working out the kinks. So
Any questions or discussion from
Jeff, I have a question about the types of zoning where mobile homes are allowed. And what I recall was that neighborhood mix was essentially the only one.
That's the only area you can put the
And-
mobile homes to begin with.
And this TN was not allowed. That's what traditional neighborhood,
Okay.
that was not allowed. And if you read this, you would think it was.
Right, I agree. So maybe we need to go back and clean up the proposed ordinance and represent it?
Yeah.
Is
So
that
the way I
We
read
need
it.
to change that or just make it where they can put them in the areas in the neighborhood mix areas where we said we can put
I
'em.
remember the discussion, I honestly don't remember what we decided.
Well, I think we got it where they can put them in the neighborhood mix. Mobile homes,
Right.
there's some on the west, there's some on the south.
But it was the.
But not within traditional.
Not in T,
neighborhood.
not in
not
TN.
in
Well,
Yeah.
we just got what, we got in marked on the, so that's all we did.
Well, the proposed bill is also saying within 10 in M and ag, and as far as we know, it should only be 10 and ag, 10.
Should only be NM.
Should only be in.
And ag, see.
And I don't know who those come from.
Well, this is the proposed ordinance, so maybe that's,
The only one who are listed.
Right.
So we get that.
and in the book, they are actually under ag districts as well. That's another,
Well,
So-
whatever we allow, we occupy.
sure,
Yeah.
don't disagree with that.
So we do need to clarify.
NM
that
only.
On a proposed amendment.
Okay. Somebody like to put that in the form of a motion if we're finished with discussion?
If you look at the use table, the single unit manufactured home is not permitted in TN,
Right.
but it is permitted in NN
And ag?
and ag.
Okay. So would everybody be comfortable with that amendment except for subsection B where it mentions TN and eliminate that?
Yeah,
Eliminate
eliminate
TN.
Strike the TN.
Okay.
Strike the TN.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and,
who wants to? Yes.
Sorry, just to clarify, the P that's listed under that traditional neighborhood, under a single unit manufactured home, that P would indicate permitted instead of prohibited.
Permitted, yes,
Permitted, yes.
but not permitted in TN.
Yeah, that is under the TDC.
so
All right.
we would need to strike the TN from the applicability.
Okay. Any other concerns you'll have about the proposed amendment? Anybody?
No.
All right. So we need a motion, I guess?
Is that something we can do here, or does this need to be cleaned up before we can make the motion?
We can take an action.
Can.
Okay, let's do it. If it's the wish of you guys. Okay. So,
I'll move that we take an amendment to this chapter 30 on the land use ordinance to, that would not require manufactured homes to face the assigned 9-1 address, but eliminate the TN since they're not allowed there anyway.
okay.
Can you repeat what your motion was? Can you repeat what your motion was?
Probably not exactly, but I would
Paraphrase it.
Paraphrase it. Okay, I would move that we accept this amendment to chapter 30, but we remove the TN from
Okay.
the list.
Okay. Okay. So, is there a second to
Second.
Scott's motion? There's
Ron,
a
second.
one, motion on the floor and a second. All right. Any other discussion? If not, let's have a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And so the proposed amendment carries with the cleaning up the TN in that. Yes.
Would y'all like us as staff to go through and try to prepare something and bring it to your next meeting for y'all to review? That way we can make sure we get the wording.
I think that would be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be great.
Right. Yeah, we need all the help we can get, for sure. Item number 2, discuss and consider recommendation regarding ranchette property uses and permitting. Anyone on staff wish to address this concerning recommendation regarding ranchette property uses and oh, that's quite all right. Thank you.
So, if you look in there, there's a little map with the some lots there. And then there's some paperwork that came from a meeting that was in 2022, where a gentleman apparently had come and stood before the council and had all that land zoned for ag, so that he could he wanted to do the ranchette thing. And in the ag, it's zoned for ranchettes. So there is if you look at number 10 on that list, I'm sorry, in that document from the meeting, it's a lapse of approval, and it's basically says that the permit's good for a year if he makes diligently pursues towards completion, which that didn't happen from what we can tell. But the problem is that this gentleman is actively advertising these lots for ranchette use, and we've had 2 now people show up here looking to buy these things, and they want to move here and bring their horse and bring all their stuff, or and this was not included in the new zoning ordinance because that is now TN. Am I correct? Yellow. So that's not ranchette would not fall in that. So you've got seller over here trying to sell the stuff, buyer is unaware, and we actually had one guy from El Paso. He showed up and he had already sold everything and bought this place, and he was talking about bringing his horse and what, you know, he bought it because that sounded attractive. So here we are, we kind of not sure what to tell these people other than let's pump the brakes and figure this out, and that's kind of why we're here in front of you all today, to make sure we do the right thing. And that was TN, and that his main concern was he wanted to get a manufactured home brought in, and the zoning did allow that, so we did allow him do that. And he's not so concerned about bringing his horse, other than he wants to use that as a homestead, so he's okay. But it just creates an ongoing issue that we need to figure it out and put a stop to it, or change it back to ag.
If you change it to ag, then it's gonna be available for an RV park.
So under agriculture, RV park and mobile home park are both currently allowed. So if we change it back to ag, could create another issue where that guy says, oh, instead of selling these, I'm going to rezone them all together, replat them all together, and then open a big one of those situations. So
Would that not be a situation for Board of Adjustments on that one property
as far as,
in a variance?
well, right now it's TN, so it's not, you know, it's not, this whole ranchette thing is out the window,
Is that
period.
not what variances are for?
That's, variances are more for size of buildings and stuff like that, isn't it, more than land use.
Anything to add?
Anybody answer that question?
I mean, I've been attending the Board of Adjustments for 30 years. things like that.
And y'all do, and that's what y'all do. I'm asking, I'm not telling you.
So one of the things we discussed today in our meeting is the area that they're looking at is not extremely unreasonable for a possible ranchette, and that was approved in 2022. However, that did expire. And of course, this isn't necessarily an action item, it's a discussion item. But one of the things that we had discussed, depending on y'all's perspective, is the possibility of creating an ordinance or adjusting an ordinance to where a ranchette permit could be obtained. So in this TN neighborhood where they already previously had been allowed to have a ranchette, if they meet the criteria set forth in that ordinance, then they could obtain a permit from staff to have a ranchette there. So again, something to discuss, or if y'all are interested in us pursuing that, we could try to put something together for y'all to review as well. So that can create a situation where it doesn't have to be rezoned. We can still look at that 2022 agreement, although it lapsed, and kind of find a middle of the road option that, as long as they meet the criteria as far as the neighborhood and certain qualifications, then we could make that an option as well.
Which lot did this individual purchase?
I believe, Brad, you said it was the long one in the middle? The one that we all would have purchased if we were buying one of those lots, I think. So,
The 7-acre lot?
yeah, the large rectangle with road access.
So we're gonna make this a checkerboard.
That's what it is. I mean, that large lot has been carved up in that pattern there.
I'm really not inclined to go back to rezoning it ag.
No, because I'm,
They-
Well, if you take the TN out to the land, it could, you know, like.
Does his current home
This
face
way.
the 911 address?
Yeah, I'd rather go variance it out.
Next question.
Surely the goodness of
I'd rather go the route you were talking about. Instead of
I beg your
rezoning.
pardon, Ron?
I just asked, does his home face the 911 address?
Yeah, well, when we're done.
No, he's already moved it in there.
Huh?
Actually, we had to create a 911 address for him there.
Oh, you did? Okay, thank you.
They
Interesting.
take care of that avenue for us. See the paperwork and they can paperwork.
I see.
You will give them that 911 address and it works around that area.
But if you take the TN out, you know, like we were talking about doing, and then you've got one situation where they were doing that beforehand, could would that not just, like I say, be handled with a variance or the Board of Adjustment, take care of that one and go on, everybody's happy?
I think it could be, I mean, that lot is gonna be probably a revisited thing time and time again, but that could be a one-off solution for them as well. This just being a discussion item, we're open to pursuing.
I mean, the land meets all other ranchette requirements. I mean, about a minimum
The current-
acre.
So is this something we ask you to come back with a recommendation
If that's
of what you would like?
we can do that.
Does the current owner ask for him to re-up his permit?
We haven't had no contact with that gentleman, I don't know who he is. But like I said, we've had two, possibly, I think two that I know of, people that showed up trying to buy this thing because of distracted.
I think I'd like to see the staff come up with a recommendation of what would work long term. And then present that to them. Because I don't think we can solve it ourselves, because we're gonna have to have staff involved.
It's a non-action item today, so we're just trying to bring forth some of these issues that we
Okay.
discussed.
So however we.
So no
Let's go
action
back on
necessary? Just move to the next item? All right. Item number 3, discuss and consider recommendation for permitted and conditional uses within light industrial, agricultural, and heavy industrial zoning districts. Okay. We'll just,
So that's kind of in a similar vein of what we just discussed, in that those areas potentially do allow RV parks to be built in them. We as staff are prepared to try to figure out and navigate if we need to adjust any of that, but that's where we needed the input of the Planning and Zoning Board to kind of give us a guiding light so that we can prepare something and bring it back to you at a follow-up meeting for action. So we put it on as a discussion item for y'all to offer us some guidance on where you would like those things to go, how you might like us to adjust those particular neighborhood developments.
it'd be nice to have a few weeks for study for sure, I think. So we'll table that for now.
If you can give us,
Sounds like it's not action.
if you can give us some recommendations to think about.
Lead into action, or not action.
Right. So consider a recommendation. Item 4, discuss and consider an application for 9527 South I-20 frontage road for a conditional use permit. And we have the landowner here, Jack Lake. Welcome to the meeting, Jack.
Well, we're here for a conditional permit, which you just discussed, but we, as you can see by the package, we planned an actual park. And my partner, which is Mike Taylor, we've known each other for about 10 years now and have a couple of businesses, and he has been doing this, as it says in that brochure. He has quite a bit of experience doing this, so I don't know where y'all are with what was just discussed, but we're asking, I mean, I've been around here since all my life. We're fixing to have an influx of people, and we're trying to solve some of the problem, and it'll bring more business to Sweetwater and a place to put about 50 people. So from here, I'll let Mike tell you what his experience is.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, appreciate it. We've been in the housing business for about 14 years. We do this all over the state. We actually try to provide top quality housing as well as really some of the best pricing. But what we're looking to do here is utilize a fenced-in lot that Mr. Lee has that is vacant right at the moment. It's just under 2 acres. And then try to bring utilities in and set somewhere between 10 or 12 single-wide manufactured homes to house up to 50 bedrooms there. And so we would have to have, because of the current zoning, which I believe is light industrial, we would have to have an exception or to this in order to put housing, multifamily there. And so that's really what our request is this evening, is to try to help address the shortage of housing in this area because of some of the booms that are going on, and try to provide those who might otherwise travel further to stay here in the local area and spend their money and time here. That's really what we're trying to do, as well as utilize land that has been in Mr. Lee's family for generations, but try to actually try to address a problem that we know is being experienced in numerous cities across Texas in particular.
Any questions from
When you talk about up to
Commission?
50 bedrooms, how many bedrooms per?
Between 3 and 4 bedrooms per house. So the single wide would have either 3 or 4 bedrooms with 3 or 4 bathrooms, common living area, as well as a laundry and so forth. It'd be just a regular HUD house. They're all HUD houses.
Are they full bath? Or do you have like one?
Yeah, they're all private
Bathroom
bath.
with a shower and
Every bedroom would have a private bathroom.
So are you just gonna be leasing rooms, or you?
The idea would be to lease houses at a time. So it could be families. It could also be 3 individuals that work together, the same company. Don't really control who might come out of the woodworks once you open it up. But they would be regular residential housing.
So is the property zoned light industrial now?
I believe so. Is that what it is?
It's not regional,
Oh, regional.
commercial.
Oh, sorry, regional.
Regional
Regional
commercial.
commercial. Okay. And this would be considered a mobile home park?
That's essentially what it would be. Yes.
But looking at the chart, we would need a C, which would allow conditional change on our chart, and it doesn't have that. So how would we address that blank on the chart? Did staff follow what I'm saying there? I'm sorry? Okay. Well, as we said all along, this is not in stone. But I'm just saying, with the 2 little dashed lines under the regional commercial for manufactured home park, there's 2 dashed lines, which is prohibited. So we'd have to make a change there. That'd be the first thing. Which
Do we have any comment? from
helps
staff
with
on this?
development.
This also is not an action item for today. It's something we wanted everybody to look at. And then moving forward, you know, one of our worries obviously is the influx of people coming into the community if these data centers are coming. The city can't stop them from coming, but we will be having to, our infrastructure will be affected if there's not any places for them to live. So it's a tough situation. I don't know what the right answer is. I do know we do need to figure something out to start preparing for this influx. RV parks are going or are asking to come outside the city limits. This is one of the first that's asking to come. Not that this is
Right. But coming inside the city.
You don't want to get in a situation where you're doing spot zoning either.
That's,
Yeah.
So
and that's all RC. That's all that is.
I personally think that I don't wanna see the horror stories that are happening in Abilene of people kicking out long-term renters to get more rent for the data center influx people. It's one small way to alleviate that. And
Would it?
Is this one
well,
where
it'd
we,
make a small, if there's as many people as I think there's gonna be, it'll make a dent in it, but it won't.
is this one where the staff might recommend going from RC to light industrial?
it's definitely a consideration, yes, sir.
Yeah, not just for this one spot, but over,
Just, and I hate to bring up spot zoning again, but
the,
That's
Essentially,
what it would
depends
be.
on where it is to me.
You can make it conditional,
You can.
and that's not spot zoning, but it goes on merit-based for application.
I know, Abilene has done some, allowed some of these, but
Thank you,
only
Mike.
after a certain amount of time, and then they have to.
I mean, I think it's probably your goal to move these if it, in 5 years, if it, the influx is.
Yeah, I mean, typically,
Places to go with it.
we've been in certain places over 10 years, but I mean, the idea would be 5+ years minimum, but at some point, there's probably not a need. These could go away, so it definitely could be conditional.
so then I guess we would need.
Would there be
recommendations from staff.
guarantees somewhere that they would be removed upon usage,
If
or?
they're not legal.
I don't know about a guarantee. I mean, as long as there be a need. I mean, Mr. Lee, I guess, would have a right to try to lease his property. I guess would just be a possible tenant, but
But I guess if they were sitting there empty for a couple of years and then,
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Turning-
Yeah.
A go dormant clause.
Yeah, I mean, it does us no good to leave assets sitting idle either, so
so y'all typically pick them up and move them.
we would move them, but we do that.
I mean, that's
ourselves
part of
as well.
y'all's business plan. I see, I got you. Okay, thank you.
I mean, I don't have any houses or any, people I'm gonna disturb where I am. I mean, it's 300 yards to the truck stop. Behind me is Mr. Strowman. There's nobody around that we're gonna disturb. And regular like RV parks near the neighborhoods or whatever. We looked at all that too.
Good. Thank you.
Trees all around, 3 sides.
If we could get with our legal and try to see what their thoughts on it. There is some language we could put in there after a certain amount of time that they have to be removed.
If, ne-
If they can.
if it's deemed
Yeah, if
appropriate
they're
or whatever.
unoccupied for whatever you want to decide.
Well, would y'all like staff to bring back a recommendation?
Absolutely.
Next month?
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm,
Okay.
definitely.
I think that's what we would ask for is a little research by staff and a recommendation of some kind.
Maybe a conditional permit with a 10-year limit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We'd be willing to listen, for sure.
I think we're gonna have to start thinking outside the box.
Yeah,
Yes.
Prepare for what's coming.
absolutely.
We're thinking outside the box at our People are coming, boys, so.
Yeah.
All right, next item on the list is adjournment.
So moved.
Okay, there's.
I'll second.
In a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
So is this up for discussion, or what is the consensus here?
It's not an action item.
The city will come back.
It's not an
We'll
action
come back
item.
with some recommendations,
Well,
and then they can make their action.
So, very well. Thank you, everybody, for coming out this evening. And I suppose we'll probably be together in 30 days and try to iron some of this out. Thank you, guys. Dr. Peak, thanks for coming, staying with us. Thank you for the kind words. We appreciate it. We appreciate staff.
That's